I did watch all of Mushoku Tensei season 2.
Oh shit!
Oh, on the flight.
Wait, that's such a plot twist. Out of all the shows, you chose Mushoku Tensei season 2.
Well, season 3 is coming, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, I felt like I had been led astray with what people had told me about 2. Everyone called it erectile dysfunction arc.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't want to watch that.
I mean, it is accurate. It is erectile dysfunction arc.
But
half
that's
of it
accurate.
is.
But then I feel like but then I don't know what happened. I was looking for something to watch on the way back, and I thought, if you'd have told me what season 1 was from like a 2-line basis, I wouldn't have watched that shit either. But I watched it and I thought, okay, this was worth watching.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna download it all and I'll watch it on the way back. And I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh fuck yeah!
I didn't start season 2 because of that exact reason.
Let's go.
I think if you because if I'd have told you that season 1 is about a guy who is born as a child and is a perv, you'd be like, I don't want to watch that shit.
I mean, I did watch season 1 and I was like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
But then when people around me were like, yo, season 2 is all about erectile dysfunction, I'm like, you're not selling me on this at all.
He solves it like episode 7. Like
it's still like, no, he solves it episode 12.
Oh, is it 12?
It is 12. So there's a big thing that happens.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
And it's like,
and
it's not his cock.
Look,
but it was only like a big point of the episode for like 2 episodes, and then it's on the back burner.
I guess like it's weird. You can't talk about this out of context without just sounding like the biggest fucking degenerate or watching like the weirdest shit. Because this emotion, like. The climax, like the half-season climax of Mushoku Tensei season 2, is Rudy boning a girl.
The climax is that
if you think about it, right?
The climax is that he climaxes.
Yeah, the climax is that he climaxes. But it's so like it's so hard to talk about because I actually defend the erectile dysfunction arc a lot because
I think it's great.
Yeah, I was like, this is watching it. Haha, okay, erectile dysfunction, blah, 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 meme stuff. And then you look at how it handles it and they treat it 100% seriously. It is like a big part of his character arc when it comes to him dealing with depression. And I was just like, after you get over that initial hump where it's just like laughing at a meme, I guess, an anime meme, it more becomes, I actually really respect the decision to go in this direction to explore a topic that...
See, I wish someone had fucking initially sold it to me like this.
Yeah.
Because this actually sounds enticing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine any show that would be willing to take this on?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I can't think of many anime that would...
I mean, the only ones that would be like fucking ecchi or harem shows and then make a fucking mockery out of it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? It would be the butt of a joke. It wouldn't be like... And I guess maybe which is like, this is like another thing where it's like, maybe I think like, I'm like, damn, that's so brave. If they, they're like, okay, they're doing a whole show about like a guy with erectile dysfunction. And as a guy, I can be like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
But like, what if it was, I don't know, what if the roles were reversed? It was about a woman with like menstrual pains. I'm like, would anime viewers be slightly more willing to give it a shot? I think less, probably.
I think less,
Which is like, I'm like, damn, I feel like we're not quite there yet where that could probably be like a thing in a show.
Yeah.
Not that should be a thing, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it is a uniquely guy thing to be able to have the perspective. But
I don't know.
But I think the way that the show handles it, I think it's not about the dick or being a guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's about
all the circumstances around it.
Yeah, it's about where he's at in life.
It's a product of his emotional state.
It just so happens that it is a thing that only guys can experience.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think is a uniquely, and I think it's smart that they use that because it is a uniquely vulnerable thing that I think a lot of guys, no matter how macho you are, would be self-conscious about if that was something that you experienced.
So now what I'm expecting from season 3 is that Rudy goes through male pattern baldness. And then we go through a character arc of that.
Unfortunately, his dad, phenomenal lock of hair. Phenomenal hairline.
Shit.
Phenomenal hairline.
Maybe in his previous life. Maybe in his previous life.
What is the inward turkey? Like he's hitting up he's like he comes back with the bandages on the EasyJet flight. No, but I really enjoyed it. It's a funny thing because I think as I had more time one thing that I think I have experienced more over time now is that I have thought about shows more that I watched a very long time ago and had my mind changed just in time.
Yeah.
For no, like, not like changing how I think or trying to think differently about it. I just think about a show and I remember I feel differently than when I thought about it
opinions
initially.
change all the time. Yeah.
But I feel like this is a rare thing to do online. This is the thing I never see discussed.
Because then you'd be called a backpedaler or you're a hypocrite. And it's like, no.
I've changed my mind about so many shows in my just like YouTube career.
Yeah.
And there's no
And comments always remember because there's a
clip of you
saying it.
Yeah, exactly.
This you, bro?
Yeah.
But
You
like,
said this?
You didn't say this 7 years ago, and
Yeah.
it's like, bro, 7
Whereas
years
you
ago.
would never have this discussion with a friend. Like
Yeah.
you would never do this with a friend. You'd
Yeah.
be like, well, 7 years ago you said you like doing this. What's changed? And it's like obviously between friends you would understand, but for some reason online because it's immortalized in a clip. It feels
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so I understand. Sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
And on the opposite spectrum, if you end up liking every show, then sometimes people were just like, he's like paid off or something.
He's
because,
dick riding.
Yeah. He just likes he's just a hype man.
Yeah.
You know, there is unfortunately no winning. So you
But
can
then if
only
you
just,
hate everything, then it's be like, oh, then why are you even talking about it?
Yeah.
So there's no winning.
there is literally no winning. So the best way to go about it is just be true to yourself and
Not
just,
giving a fuck.
just hope that there are not terminally online people that can understand that people are still people and opinions are
That's
very
the
human.
problem, though, isn't it?
But I think luckily, I think, 95% of people understand that. But I think unfortunately I think people who normally do that have an agenda as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, of course.
they want to paint a narrative. And
Yeah.
you changing your mind might not line up.
They
with
want
that
any
narrative.
excuse to be like, see, here's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, sorry, I don't like your favorite show. Bro.
Yes.
But the reason I said that is because I feel like maybe because watching season 2, but maybe the reason why I wanted to watch this is because I think maybe my opinions had changed slightly on season 1 and how I felt about it. And mainly, you know why? Because I don't know why I was getting recommended this. I would always get fucking recommended the Mushoku Tensei Reddit. On my Reddit app. So I get recommended these weird. So I do not know.
What is the algorithm?
I do not know how because I also got it is the weird. I got recommended Onion Lovers, r/Onion Lovers. 200k people on that subreddit, by the way.
200K.
So
I mean, onions are pretty good.
and like I'll just scroll and I get the weird. And now I don't know why I get recommended constantly the Herman Miller subreddit. I don't know why.
Well, you have been talking about getting a Herman Miller
Yeah.
for a while.
No, I haven't. I've had a Herman Miller for a long time.
Here in the office.
We're seeing
Yeah, maybe
Inception
listen.
in real time.
So like if I refresh right, let me just scroll r/ramen. I don't know why I get that. Actually I know why because occasionally I think one time I got recommended it and it was an Ichiran and I wanted to see people fighting in the comments and they were fighting. r/burgers. Why am I getting recommended that?
Because you love burgers.
r/PC Master Race. I've never clicked on that. r/Comedy Heaven. I don't know what that is. r/Ghibli. I've never gone on the Ghibli. r/McDonald's. What could they possibly be discussing in the McDonald's subreddit?
Bro, you're searching up a lot of food.
r/lies. What is that? What is that?
they just must understand a part of your brain that you haven't
Yeah,
Yeah, I- you know
the
what I mean?
algorithm knows you better than you
Okay,
do.
this
Yeah.
is the first. r/Zip Air. Why am I getting
Zip Air?
the airline? Why am
Oh.
I getting recommended this?
fuck?
Obviously, there's some algorithms that are like clicking what I'm. But so anyway, I got recommended the Mushoku Tensei Reddit,
Subreddit.
and it was, and I clicked on it because they were arguing about obviously there are like things that anime fans will discuss to the end of time, and one of them is Rudy. That I think like there is a sticking point of like. They were like, hey, it was framed in such a facetious way of like, why do the Japanese like Rudy and the Western people don't like Rudy? And I'm like, I don't think like it is that simple. I think there are a lot of people in Japan who might not fuck with Rudy, and there are a lot of fans in Japan who would fuck with Rudy as a character.
Totally.
Yeah. I think my stance on it is that Rudy is just, whether you like him or hate him, he's a interesting character.
Yeah, and that's the kind of why I went back to it. Is because I was reading these people arguing, and I was like, my God, it's like again they've decided a thing. Every single person, not every single person. There were some people who were trying to maybe explain a bit more of the nuance, but they'd seen a thing and decided this bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I think Rudy has done a lot of shitty things, but it's also about like how do you change as a person when you've done so many unforgivable things and you're given this new slate? Is it right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But what do you do if you were in this situation and you have these personality things you want to change? And I think that's why I was like, you know what? I do want to watch season 2.
Yeah.
Because I do want to actually see how this goes.
Also, I feel a lot of people don't understand that like it's a piece of fiction and they're trying to tell an interesting story, and sometimes you're gonna have characters that you don't necessarily think are good people.
I also think
It doesn't
like,
mean they're bad characters though.
yeah, and I think like I keep saying like. I think when you watch Rudy do something kind of deplorable, it is good that you feel that way.
Yeah.
That is your reaction.
It's better
Like,
to have
that's
any
good.
emotional reaction to it than just nothing.
But I don't think watching Rudy do these things is also an endorsement of Rudy, because the show at times also is like showing you, I think, why it is not working for Rudy, and why the people around him feel like he's a creep or disgusting.
Yeah.
So I think
like people think he's a fucking real person or something. And
yeah,
it's like, he's a fictional character.
In the first season, I really struggled because I really didn't like watching Rudy.
Right.
Because I felt like Rudy in season 1 is really hard to watch.
Yeah,
I really didn't like watching it.
Yeah.
And there's other couple of choices that maybe the show made that maybe also made it harder to watch. Like the fact that in season 1, there's a lot of interaction between him and younger people, which it's just hard to get over. Like I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I still don't think that you can write it off and be like, there's nothing interesting being said here. And I think season 2 solidified for me that I was like, yeah, I think I really like what the show is trying to disseminate and try to explore. Yeah, because especially like season 2 is so slow. Like it spends so much time on Rudy and friends and like his interactions with other people, which I think is really needed.
Yeah.
I think it would.
I would say so, because even though people memed on the erectile dysfunction arc, my least favorite part of season 2 was actually the ending of season 2.
Yes.
Because
for
like the severity of some of the life decisions Rudy decides to make, it seemed like erectile dysfunction fucking loved how deep that exploration was in terms of like the emotional side of things. At the end of season 2, he makes some pretty big life-changing decisions.
Yeah, there's one or two things I was like, huh?
Like kind of get wrapped up almost immediately in like a episode or two.
Like it was rushed?
With almost minimal conflict.
Right.
And I was like,
there's one big thing that happens at the end. I think I immediately spoke to Garn about it, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. I think anyone who's seen it, you'll probably know. You're like, I don't know about this one.
Okay.
And it's not like I think it was like bad plot progression. It was just something. It was the first time when I saw Mushoku Tensei explore like a topic that isn't normally explored in such a realistic manner, and it kind of just all get wrapped up and moved on to the next thing almost immediately.
Yeah, because the setup
like
was,
it wasn't explored further enough.
Yeah,
there was a setup, and I think it was something that was, I think, so imperative to the story and the character of Rudy that I think it needed like 3 or 4 more episodes.
Yeah,
right.
The setup as well, I think, could have been an additional episode would help, because I think they had set it up so well across the entire. And I sorry to people who haven't watched it. I know, like, it is so interesting. Please watch the show. I think it's actually really interesting. Like it is
very interesting.
I think it's so interesting because I've never seen an anime handle something like this in the way that it did. And I think because obviously there's a lot of characters, and I think the show has done really well at introducing characters, giving them their time, and used the journey and where they're at in life to really tell the story. And so it's really cool then when they introduce older characters to new characters and dynamics and how that all functions and how Rudy now changes his perspective because he's still quite juvenile in some aspects of his thinking. And so, I think it kind of painted him in the way of, I found him as a character, he's not very good. And I think a lot of people are like this, where when something or someone is not immediately in your life, it's really hard to consider that impact on your life and how it's going to interact with then if they come back in and how that's going to, you're like, oh, but you had a relationship like this with them, but now you need to change certain things because you've already got these relationships established and that needs to change. And I think that was really interesting, and that could have been given a bit more time, I think, in season 3. Sorry, I'm ranting. I just thought it was really, really interesting. Like I really liked what they were trying to do, and I think it is so worth watching.
I think it's a rarity, especially in the anime world, that a series gets time to explore these certain topics and breathe without having to go through the next big turning point or the next big piece of plot progression. Because I think when I see discussions about Rudy, you know, it's so interesting because I see that as a sign of like what Mushoku Tensei is doing right, whether people like Rudy or not, because people have this kind of reaction because as a character, a lot of characters in this show, they feel really real, right? So when you watch Rudy do some kind of deplorable acts, emotionally, it can make you feel like even more like icky than watching fucking
sure.
Frieza like fucking destroy a planet. Or
Oh,
something
dude,
like
hell
that.
yeah! Like I felt way worse about some of the decisions Rudy chose.
Yeah, exactly.
I like pause it and be like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I think one thing that I always respect about Mushoku Tensei is that, some people can take, this is kind of like you're seeing Rudy learn from his mistakes and you're seeing Rudy, progress as a character. And some people look at Rudy and feel like he's so real that they don't think he's worth redemption. And that's kind of why they don't gel with the series, because they cannot invest themselves in Rudy as a character.
Right.
Because he almost feels a bit too real. But what I respect about Mushoku Tensei is that it's exploring a topic that it's not exactly like taboo, but it's certainly on that line of just like, ooh.
Contentious.
Yeah. It's like erectile dysfunction, for example. It's exploring topics that people don't normally feel comfortable talking about or exploring. And this series is always a series that has no problem exploring topics like this and bringing in new light. And it might make you feel uncomfortable in certain aspects, but that is part of the Mushoku Tensei experience for me, and that's why it is one of my favorite modern.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I love well-written fiction that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
especially if it's done well.
I still don't really fuck with
I don't have
Rudy
anything
too much.
against that. Oh yeah,
I don't really like.
I'm not going to be
No,
like Rudy's
I-
my.
I-
I'm not going to be like Rudy's my favorite character.
no,
but like-
I still don't fuck with Rudy.
Because I know people will be like, "What the fuck?" And it's like, no, like he's still done a lot of shitty things. But I think if you then don't allow yourself to like watch media like this and just have a discussion or thought about it, I think you're robbing yourself of a lot of really interesting nuanced topics that can be discussed. And I think it's
totally
whatever the fuck aside, it's I think still one of the most interesting shows going on right now. I think anime-wise. Still like the fact that we're
100%
talking
agree.
about it. Like I can't fucking sit here and talk about the nuance of fucking Jinwoo and solo leveling. I don't fucking know anything. You know what I mean? I mean,
what is there to talk about?
You know what I mean? Like you say what you will. I mean, it's a cool show, but like it's just there's not the you can't really get in the weeds.
That's a different type of.
That's a different genre.
Yeah,
I know.
genre.
But like, I feel like it's such an interesting discussion to be had.
Totally.
It's the kind of thing where like if we were off camera, I'd be like 2-hour drinks, and I'd be like, you gotta fucking go in depth about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Well, those are the shows that are going to be remembered.
I think so. I think it'll be a show that it will occupy the space of people who have watched it. I think for a long time, just because I think there's just so much interesting.
I mean,
to be discussed.
that's why a show like Evangelion.
That's why the Reddit is still going.
Yeah.
But then I hate it when I see the whole discussion of like, I'm a Japanese media enjoyer. I belong with my fellow Japanese brethren who can understand and appreciate the nuances of root. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Okay, Clyde from Kansas. Like,
Shut the fuck up, man.
you have no
You are
connection.
not, like, that is so fucking dumb of you to think that is how you can conduce
I've
this
watched
down.
1,000 anime, so I'm basically Japanese now,
And like,
guys.
I hate it when they try to do, like, that's when it's like a show like this and they try to be like, is it my politics or their politics? It's like, shut the fuck up. Okay? Shut the fuck up.
Like, no one cares about your politics.
Shut the fuck up. Just watch the goddamn show and think for yourself, man. It's not about fucking them or you, bro.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so interesting to look at the, like when there is discussion like this online. But then, there obviously are some people who I think are willing to discuss it. And it's like really, really interesting to read how people kind of interpret some things and how they take it.
Unfortunately, I feel that's a little bit more of a rarity than the former.